This is just kind of a weird little abstraction I was thinking about. But the idea would be effectively that one affects all affects one. And that past a certain point, trying to track causality becomes almost impossible and also perhaps insignificant. The things that caused it are no longer significant in of themselves. They're only significant in so far as they are part of the greater backdrop of reality that makes everything significant. So you can think of it like this. This is the present. Then these are all the factors that you were the progenitor of, right? All the things that happen because you caused them to happen, right? And past a certain point, those factors become innumerable and perhaps insignificant. You can have predicted them and you might not be able to control them, more or less, right? Then you have the past. All the factors that led to your existence are, significant to a certain point, but beyond that, they become kind of insignificant. They're only kind of part of the greater backdrop of reality, right? If you want to think of it in practical terms, you are going to have two kids. Let's hope you have two kids, who might in turn have 4 grandchildren for you, 8 great grandchildren, 16 great great grandchildren, and so on and so on, right? You have 2 parents. You have 4 great or grandparents. You have 8 great grandparents, 16 great great grandparents. Am I getting all that right? Anyways, I hope so. Etc. Etc. Right? The thing is, the well-being of your parents is quite significant to you because, apart from God, they are the people most concerned in your existence on planet Earth, right? So the notion of your father having a close call with, a drunk driver, you're just thinking about that, and it's a very poignant type of concern in your mind that, well, man, that was close. I might not have been born. Whew. But the further back you get, grandparents, great grandparents, great great grandparents to the nth degree, I think actually past a certain point, you actually have more direct ancestors than there would be people on planet Earth, and obviously intermarrying comes into that. But past a certain point, you're not really thinking about that as being, oh wow, that was a close shave. So and so had a brush in with Genghis Khan. He might have died. I'm like, yeah, you just don't think of it as being the same level of significance as your parents. And on the other end of that, you think of the second, third, fourth order effects of what you're doing today. And past a certain point, those effects become kind of ephemeral. They like past a certain point, like they start to lack significance. And I think it's perhaps appropriate in that, again, past a certain point, they're not significant in and of themselves. It becomes very hard to isolate a very causal or very significant factor. It just becomes a part of the greater backdrop of reality. And the notion would be, at least with regards to the future especially, the further out it is, the easier it is to circumvent or subvert whatever it is that's going to happen, to correct the mistake if you see it coming in any case. The idea would be that effectively the future is only as real as it is possible or as it is unavoidable. Right? I don't even know if that's correct. It just works better in my head if I don't think of time as being real. Yeah, that made sense and didn't make me sound like a crazy person. Huzzah. Anyways, bye.